And I'm glad to be here with you this morning. I think this is going to be a great day. It's a pleasure to be with you. We welcome some new faces and some faces we've seen before to our summit. And we're happy to spend this time and are deeply appreciative that you'd commit it. And we promise it will be rewarding and worthwhile. I'm going to follow up on a couple of comments that Mindy started with. I want to ask you a question to think about. How old is your company? When was it founded? How much longer do you think it's going to be around? Hard to know, isn't it? As leaders, we spend an awful lot of time thinking about planning, building, and anticipating the future. We have to balance short-term performance with long-term vision and direction, don't we? Obviously, we are not just hanging on, hoping that our companies last long enough to see us through to retirement. We care about where we work. We believe in the purpose of our work and not just the commerce of it, don't we? I know that's true with leaders. If there are problems threatening the health of our enterprise, our organization, whatever it may be, we're usually among the first to know and the most responsible to do something about it. So let's talk for a minute about the lifespan of a company. Would it surprise you to know that there were 9,000 publicly traded companies in the United States in 1998, but only 4,100 in 2012? This is from a study done by Jerry Davis, professor at the University of Michigan, when the Occupy protesters a couple years ago were blaming corporations for everything wrong with the economy. Mr. Davis's study countered that the real problem was the disappearance of so many companies where jobs, careers, opportunities, innovations, products, and technologies were created, invented, developed. I find this to be a remarkable statistic. All of those jobs, careers, opportunities, innovations, technologies, they're created by people. People in corporations. Corporations don't do much. It's the people in them. What happened to these other 4,900 companies in 14 short years? Sure, some were merged or acquired, or went private, or succumbed to Sarbanes-Oxley. Some of you know about that. But most ceased to exist. And by the way, this number 4,100 in 2012, that includes those in that same time period that emerged. How old is your company? What is the average lifespan of companies like yours? How much longer will it last? Take a look at this chart. This is the average lifetime of the S&P 500s, and this chart shows that in the last 50 years or so, the average lifespan of these S&P 500 companies, or of the S&P 500 companies, has fallen from about 75 years in 1958, 1960, to 15 years today. Think about that for a minute. Isn't that fascinating? The average lifespan of the S&P 500, 15 years. So, sure, there are several contributors to this kind of, if we may say it, a death of companies. Competition, again, mergers and acquisitions, failure to change, lack of innovation, poor strategies, poor leadership, just a few of the reasons. Plus the effect, obviously, of so many new, young, often technology companies that have started up in the last 10 to 15 years, which of course bring this average down. All of those roll into a fairly significant change in the average lifespan of companies today. What about people? Do you think there might be a correlation between the people of a company, what they are doing, how they are led, how they feel when they come to work every morning, and the company's survival? Of course there is. We know there is. And we don't need a survey to know it. We have good judgment. We perceive. We understand. But there is a way to know just how strong a correlation there is between people and the durability, the lifespan of a company. I want you to think for just a minute about your last fire drill where you work. And the next time there's a fire drill where you work, try adding up all of the great work that's being done by the people in your office building, or your factory, or your medical center, while you're all gathered outside waiting for the all clear to go back in? There's the number. That's what's happening when all of our people are not at work, not engaged, not involved. So the next fire drill, here's something to try. Sneak back in early if you can and check out the factory floor to see what isn't being produced. Look in on marketing to see which new innovations and ideas to differentiate your organization from your competitors aren't being developed. Or better yet, stop by the call center to listen in on how many clients are not being served. Obvious, right? The time when our healthy, vibrant, growing, thriving companies and organizations most closely resemble a dead one is when there's nobody in them, when our people are either missing or are less than 100% focused, engaged, happy, involved, connected, communicated with, acknowledged. Is there anything more relevant then to the survival and the lifespan of the companies with which we work and within which we work than the people? Of course there's not. We have over 100 great organizations and companies represented here today. Companies who get it and understand the value of people in an enterprise. Guess what our average age is? Well, we took a look. We added you all up. We have this wonderful thing in our company called Google. And we know when your company started. And we average, all of us together, our companies average 73 years old. Interesting to think about. And we have companies from all walks, all industries, all sectors. If you're one of the younger companies, you're dragging down the average, man. But you're getting older every day. And if you're one of the older ones, and you're pulling the average up, then chances are pretty good your people are a big reason why. Let me say this, it doesn't really matter what your company does or what it makes when it comes to the topics that we're talking about today. You might be in the business of pizza or advice or financial services. You might be making widgets, providing health care, energy, or something else. It doesn't really matter today because as leaders, we're all in the same business, really. That's the business of people. It's a people business. I talked with a few of you that have moved from one different industry or sector to another, but it's the business of people that we're really in. We are in that business because without our people, and you think about, if you will, the people you work with every day, call them what you will, call them your colleagues, your coworkers, your associates, your employees, your friends at work. Without them, we have no business at all. You are real-world experts on this topic, and I encourage you to join in the conversations today, during the sessions and during the breaks. Get to know one another. Have a good experience. I think you'll be inspired by our speakers, our panel, and our special presentations. I believe you will leave with some great new insights. You're going to receive great new books for your library that once you start, you're not going to want to put down. And you will hear from the authors of those books. How great is that? It will be a day of insights, thinking, and learning. I really encourage you to get to know each other, make new friends, and I hope you enjoy the day. Thank you very much.